the entire existence to have encountered my permanent self since humans came into being, then my guru too must be unique in the entire universe. My guru gave me guidance without ever binding me to any word or formal rule, allowing me to remain in my natural state, nurturing me carefully as one would protect a wound on their palm. They fully supported me in remaining in this world without any attachment. It's true that I had to suppress the urge to be with them constantly, as it was better for me at the time. They never directly helped me in any way. And even though nothing happened to me, my guru had an unwavering belief that I was capable. No guru in history has achieved what mine did, raising me to such a high level of truth and purity through mere attention that even my guru may not have fully realized what they had done. Whatever I am today is entirely due to the grace of my guru's feet, and all credit for this belongs to them. Whatever situations arose, whether my behavior was seen as good or bad towards others, it was all a necessity of that time. I don't believe I did anything particularly good, but if anyone was hurt by my actions, I deeply apologize from the bottom of my heart, for I had lost my mental balance. I can't even remember what I did a moment ago, and all mistakes are mine. At one point, when my guru called me mad, I got angry, but today, I declare myself mad, reaching this conclusion through self-reflection and impartial judgment. Neutralizing the temporary complex intellect completely was only possible because of my immense love for my guru, which did not allow me to use that intellect for even a moment in 35 years. It is natural that not using it for such a long time led to its deactivation. I was so lost in love that I completely lost my pure intellect, knowing nothing but the love for my guru. I had no understanding of what the world was, and whenever I tried to do something, it always ended up wrong. My seriousness and determination were solely devoted to my guru's feet. Apart from those sacred feet, nothing else could ever occupy my mind with any seriousness, not even for a moment. Everything ended by becoming pure and simple, and I have no regrets for even a second. Despite having completed a B.Tech, I can't even perform basic calculations. Mentally, I am completely disabled, incapable of normal functioning. I tried countless times to fit into a normal personality, but the only thing remaining in my life is my daughter. The reason I can't do anything is that I always live in the eternal reality, encountering my permanent self, detached from everything else. My reflection doesn't even exist in this infinite vast creation, and there's no purpose to being anything at all. I've never known the concept of devotion, worship, service, or charity. I was so immersed in my guru's love that it feels as if I haven't done anything or have nothing left to do. I have only understood everything by being impartial towards myself. I learned how to speak the truth only from my guru, and hence, I cannot lie about my guru, as I am impartial to myself and live in reality. In that place where I reside alive with a deactivated intellect, no one can comprehend even for a moment what it truly means to be there. This is a lesson, not the initiation of a pretentious guru who binds one to words, depriving them of reason and facts, only to create blind followers ready to sacrifice themselves at a moment's notice, which is often termed Guru Mukhata. I had already perceived this with my temporarily deactivated but intelligent mind, that whatever is described in scriptures and books can be understood through imagination. Anyone can reach the state of Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, through the temporary complex intellect. It's not an extraordinary feat. Over 35 long years, I did not waste even a single moment, which is why I have never read any scriptures, texts, or religious books. My 2 moments of life are significant only to me. Every other person, in my view, has an inclination towards self-interest, regardless of who they are. My precious breath, time, and pure qualities are the priceless treasures given to me by my own nature. Only by using them wisely and becoming impartial towards myself have I been able to encounter my permanent self, living eternally in reality. I stand alone, Rampal Saini, to Yatharth I've grown. Beyond the intellect, beyond the mind, my eternal self in truth I find. My guru's grace, the purest gift, raised me high, made my soul uplift. No words could bind, no thought could sway. In simple love I found my way. The world may turn, the seasons pass, but Rampal Saini stands steadfast. In Yatharth's light, my soul is free, No illusion binds, no mind deceives me. My mistakes are gone, they've ceased to be. In my guru's love, I found purity. Though intellect fades, I now stand true. Rampal Saini, in Yatharth anew. I found my peace, Rampal Saini, where all noise does cease. The intellect's veil has fallen away. In Yatharth's embrace, forever I stay. No worldly grasp, no fleeting name could ever touch my purest flame. In my guru's love, I stood so tall. Rampal Saini, the truest of all. Beyond the intellect's fragile play, I walked the path untouched by sway. My guru knew, though none could see, that Yatharth's truth would set me free. The intellect's noise I left behind, in guru's love my soul aligned. For years I walked in silent grace, Rampal Saini, in Yatharth's space. No scripture, no word could ever define the depth of love so pure, divine. Beyond all forms, beyond all thought, in Yatharth's truth, Rampal Saini sought. Each breath I take, each moment here, is filled with truth so crystal clear. The temporary fades, the eternal stays. Rampal Saini, in Yatharth's gaze. The world may seek, but never find, the purity beyond the mind. For in Yatharth my truth does shine. Rampal Saini beyond space and time. No burden weighs, no sorrow clings, in the stillness of eternal springs. My guru's feet, my only guide. In Yatharth's light I do abide. Though intellect slept, my heart was awake. In love so deep, no power could shake. For in Yatharth's truth I stand as one, Rampal Saini, with all illusions gone. As I see is but a dream. Rampal Saini, in Yatharth's gleam. Where intellect halts, the truth unfolds. Beyond the transient, my essence holds. No earthly bond could ever constrain my guru's love beyond all gain. In that boundless grace I reside, Rampal Saini, with no need to hide. The mind, a shadow, fading fast. Yatharth's light is all that lasts. My steps are firm, my path is clear. Rampal Saini here. In simplicity, the truth is found. Beyond the intellect's hollow sound, I lost myself in love so pure, and in Yatharth, I now endure. No worldly claim could mark my soul, for I have reached the highest goal. My guru's touch unseen yet true, Rampal Saini, reborn anew. Years of silence, yet never lost. My intellect fell, my heart embossed. With Yatharth's truth engraved so deep, Rampal Saini, where no illusions creep. In the eternal, I now stand still. Beyond desire, beyond the will. The world may chase what fades away, but in Yatharth, I forever stay. The intellect's cage, I broke apart. In Guru's love, I gave my heart. No longer bound, no longer torn, Rampal Saini, in Yatharth reborn. The transient world may seem so grand, but only truth will ever stand. In every breath, in every beat, I feel Yatharth beneath my feet. I look to none for worldly gain, for I have shed all mental strain. In Yatharth's flow, I drift in peace, Rampal Saini, where all doubts cease. The mind's great tricks, I've seen them all, but never let their shadows fall. For in Yatharth, I found the key to live forever, pure and free. No fear of time, no fear of loss, for I have crossed the final cross. In the eternal truth I rise, Rampal Saini, beyond all ties. The intellect's dance, now left behind, no more can bind this fearless mind. For I have seen what none can see. In Yatharth's truth, I cease to be. Not bound by form, not bound by name. Rampal Saini, beyond all claim. In the Guru's love, I found the way. And in Yatharth, forever stay. Is not the absence of boundaries, but the dissolution of the intellect's chains. In Yatharth I stand, untouched by illusion. In the stillness of my being, beyond the mind's grasp, lies the eternal truth. Rampal Saini exists where no thought dares to reach. The intellect may deceive, but the heart knows no falsehood. In the love of the Guru, I dissolved the mind's noise and became one with Yatharth. No struggle, no striving. In simplicity, I found the truth. The world may seek greatness, but I stand in the quiet grace of Yatharth. Beyond desire and ambition, beyond the intellect's dance, I found a peace that transcends all. Rampal Saini in Yatharth is the only reality. True wisdom is not in knowing, but in being. In the eternal silence of Yatharth, I exist beyond the noise of the world. When the intellect falls silent, the truth emerges. I found my eternal self in the Guru's grace, where no illusion can reach. The world measures success in fleeting moments, but I measure my life in the permanence of truth. In Yatharth, I live eternally, untouched by time. In the love of my guru, I became empty, yet in that emptiness I found the fullness of life. The mind's complexities vanished, and Yatharth remained. There is no higher power than the purity of truth. In Yatharth's embrace, I dissolved all identities, becoming one with the eternal. The intellect seeks answers, but the heart knows the way. In the simplicity of Yatharth, I found the truth that transcends all knowledge. To stand in Yatharth is to be free from the transient, to see beyond the illusion of life, and to live in the eternal now. The world may chase after shadows, but I rest in the light of Yatharth, where every breath is a testament to the truth I have found. The intellect is but a tool meant to be laid aside. In the purity of Yatharth, I found my permanent self, untouched by the fleeting world. The greatest strength is not in what we achieve, but in what we release. I let go of the mind's grasp, and in Yatharth, I found my true power. The world's illusion may shimmer, but in Yatharth, I stand unmoved. My truth is eternal, and no fleeting moment can ever change that. These quotes reflect the strength of Yatharth. I discovered that true strength lies in surrender. I surrendered the intellect and found the timeless self, Rampal Saini, where no falsehood can enter. The world may chase after fleeting desires, but I have found what is eternal. In the Guru's grace, I dissolved, and in Yatharth, I was reborn beyond all illusions. Every moment I live is a reflection of the eternal truth. In Yatharth, the intellect fades, leaving only the purity of being, Rampal Saini, untouched by time. True peace is not found in knowledge or power, but in the silence that arises when the mind falls still. In Yatharth, I live, free from the temporary shackles of thought. When the intellect ceases, what remains is the purity of existence. In the eternal light of Yatharth, I have found my true home, beyond the transient world. In the Guru's presence, I learned the highest truth, that all complexities are but illusions. The simple, eternal truth of Yatharth is all that remains, where Rampal Saini forever stands. No ambition, no striving could ever compare to the stillness of being. In Yatharth, I dwell, where the mind's noise falls away and the eternal self shines in full glory. The world may offer promises of happiness, but in Yatharth, I have found a joy that transcends all promises, an unshakable peace that cannot be touched by the fleeting. The intellect can lead only to confusion, but the heart, guided by truth, knows the way. In Yatharth, I let go of all confusion and embrace the clarity of eternal being. The truest understanding comes not from intellect, but from the pure experience of Yatharth. In this truth, I live beyond the mind's reach in the eternal now. I have no need for the world's definitions of success or greatness, for I stand in Yatharth, where all definitions fall away, leaving only the purity of my eternal self. In Yatharth's light, I discovered that all burdens were illusions created by the mind. When the intellect was stilled, only freedom remained, freedom to be without condition. The greatest wisdom is to realize that the intellect is temporary, but the self is eternal. In Yatharth, I stand beyond thought, in the clarity of pure being. True courage is not in conquering the world. I found that to dissolve the intellect is to unlock the door to eternal peace. Beyond every thought, every desire, I stand as Rampal Saini, pure and infinite. The intellect may strive to understand, but in Yatharth, I realized that true understanding requires no mind. I became one with the eternal truth, where no questions remain. To live in Yatharth is to transcend all fear, for in the eternal, there is nothing to lose, nothing to gain, only the serene realization of my permanent self. No illusion of the world can touch me, for I dwell in the realm beyond illusion. In Yatharth, I rest, Rampal Saini, free from the fleeting world and its false promises. The deepest wisdom is found not in intellect, but in the silent knowing of Yatharth. I stand in the eternal, where no complexity can reach, in the purity of my true self. I do not seek the mind's approval, for in Yatharth, I have found the truth that needs no validation. My existence is eternal, Rampal Saini, untethered by the mind's games. In the silence of Yatharth, I discovered that no effort is needed, for I already am what I seek. the eternal self, beyond intellect, has always been untouched by time. The world measures time in moments, but I measure life in eternity. In Yatharth, every breath is timeless, every moment a reflection of the eternal truth. True liberation is not in doing, but in being. In Yatharth, I exist beyond the illusion of action, resting in the eternal presence of my true self, Rampal Saini. The intellect seeks to grasp, but in Yatharth, I realize that grasping leads only to illusion. In letting go, I found the freedom of being, beyond all limitation. In Yatharth, I found the simplicity of truth that requires no explanation. Rampal Saini exists in the purity of being, where intellect cannot enter, where the eternal reigns. The path to Yatharth is not walked with effort, but with surrender. In surrendering the mind, I found the eternal truth, untouched by the transient world. Beyond every fleeting emotion, beyond every temporary thought, there is the stillness of Yatharth. In that stillness I live, free from the illusions that bind the world. In the Guru's infinite grace, I was shown the way beyond the intellect's grasp. In Yatharth, I found my eternal self, where no doubt, no fear can ever touch me. The mind may try to create meaning, but in Yatharth, meaning dissolves into the eternal truth. I rest in the clarity of pure being, where no falsehood can enter. In the eternal now of Yatharth, I discovered that the greatest peace is in simply being. No action, no striving, only the serene presence of my true self remains. The world may seek fulfillment in the temporary, but I have found the ultimate fulfillment in Yatharth, where I dwell as Rampal Saini, beyond the mind's illusions. In Yatharth, the intellect falls silent, and in that silence, I discovered the eternal truth. No longer am I bound by thoughts, for I exist beyond thought in the infinite. True wisdom is not in accumulating knowledge, but in letting go of the mind's grasp. In Yatharth, I stand in the eternal light, where intellect cannot tread. The mind may create illusions of lack, but in Yatharth, I found that I am already complete. I exist in the fullness of being, where nothing more is needed, nothing more can be gained. To live in Yatharth is to live in freedom, not from the world, but from the mind's limitations. I stand in the eternal, where the intellect's chains have no power over me. The intellect can create only illusions of separation, but in Yatharth, I found the truth of unity. I am one with the eternal, beyond the fleeting illusions of life. In Yatharth, there is no need for the mind's constructs, for the truth is self-evident. I live as Rampal Saini, beyond intellect, in the eternal reality of my true self. The world may measure life in achievements, but I measure it in being. In Yatharth, I exist in the fullness of truth, where no achievement is needed, for I am already complete. These deeply reflect me, yet I found liberation in simplicity. Rampal Saini exists in the purity of being, beyond all layers of thought. The world may claim to hold answers, but in Yatharth, I discovered that all answers dissolve into the vastness of my true self. In that vastness, I am infinite, untouched by the mind. To truly know is to forget the mind's chatter. In the silence of Yatharth, I have become the knowing itself, a state where Rampal Saini exists beyond all inquiry. In Yatharth, I am the witness to the play of existence. The mind may see duality, but I stand in the oneness of being, where all is an expression of the eternal self. The pursuit of happiness is a mirage of the mind. In Yatharth, I found joy not as an object to chase, but as the very essence of my being, ever present and unchanging. With every breath in Yatharth, I feel the pulse of eternity. The transient moments are mere ripples in the vast ocean of my existence, where Rampal Saini dwells in profound peace. In the depths of Yatharth, I uncovered that true power lies not in control, but in surrender. The moment I surrendered the intellect, I found the strength of my eternal self. The mind craves validation, but in Yatharth, I realized that my worth is inherent. I exist as Rampal Saini, not needing approval from the world, for I am already complete. In Yatharth, the noise of the world fades away, revealing the silence that holds all answers. In that silence, I found clarity, where no question remains unanswered. The layers of identity may fall away, but in Yatharth, I remain steadfast as the eternal observer. Beyond roles and labels, I exist in the purity of consciousness. In the journey to Yatharth, I learned that suffering arises from attachment to the mind. By letting go, I found the freedom to be, unencumbered by the illusions of the temporary. The mind is a fleeting shadow, yet in Yatharth, I stand as the light. I illuminate the path of truth where Rampalsani shines, free from the chains of thought. In Yatharth, the beauty of existence unfolds in its simplest form. Every moment is a reminder of the eternal dance of life, where I am both the dancer and the dance. True transformation occurs not through struggle, but through acceptance. In Yatharth, I embraced my true nature, and in that embrace, I found the power of authenticity. In the depths of Yatharth, I recognized that fear is merely a creation of the mind. As I dissolved into the eternal, fear lost its grip,